Hey guys, welcome back to my next video of Bash Shell scripting tutorial for beginners. Now let's get started. Today we'll be looking at some of the file test operators. First, let's write a program to check if a file or directory exists or not. So what this E flag does here is, it checks whether a file or a directory with the name in this variable exists in our file system or not. So it checks if it exists, then it'll print the file has been found. If it doesn't exist, then it'll print the file is not found. Now let's save and run this. Now let's enter the name of our current file. So as you can see, it prints that new.sh file has been found. In Bash, there are two primary types of files, which is the regular and the special files. The regular files include text files, binary files, configuration files, scripts, and more. Whereas the special files are further subdivided into character special files as well as block special files. Character special files are used to interact with the character devices like the terminals, serial ports, and devices that communicate data character by character. Whereas block special files are used to interact with the block devices, typically for the storage devices like the hard drives and the SSDs. So if you want to check for a block special file, you can use the flag B, or if you're checking for a character special file, you can use the flag C. Now let's check for a regular file. For a regular file, you can use the flag F. Now let's save and run this. Let's type in the name of the same file. Since this is a regular file, it has printed new.sh file found. Now let's create a file using our touch command. Now let's again run our script. Now let's type in test.txt. So as you can see, it shows the file has been found. Now let's give a random input. So it prints the file is not found. Similar to the flag F, you can use flag D, which checks for directories. So first let's create a directory here. Let's type in test, which is the name of the directory. So as you can see, it prints test file has been found. Now let's run the script again and let's type the name of the text file we created earlier. So as you can see, it says test.txt file not found. This is because it checks for a directory, not a file. Another flag you can use is the S flag. This checks if the file is empty or not. Now let's save and run the script. Let's type in test.txt. As you can see here, it has printed test.txt file not found. Now let me explain how this works. So this flag S checks if there is any contents in the file. If there is any contents in the file, then it will print out this line. If not, if there are no contents, then it will print file not found. So let's just change this to. Now let's save and run this again. So now let's add some contents into the text file. You can use the greater than symbol to override the contents of the file. Now let's type in the file name. Now let's again run our script. So as you can see, it has printed that test.txt is not empty. Now let's read that file using the cat command. So as you can see here, the contents have been inserted. Here when we use a single greater than symbol, it overrides the contents of this file. Whereas if you use double greater than symbol, then it appends the text to the end of the file. Now let's see that. Now let's read the contents of the file. So as you can see here, this content has been appended to the end of the file. Here we can use the R flag to check if the file has the read permissions. Similarly, you can use W to check if it has write permissions, and you can use X to check if it has executable permissions. Now let's save and run this. Now let's type the name of a file. So as you can see here, our script has executable permissions. Now let's run the script again. Let's type in text.txt. So as you can see, the text.txt does not have the executable permissions. Now let's see the permissions. We can type in ls-l. So as you can see here, the test.txt does not have any executable permissions here. Here you can use the chmod plus x command to add executable permissions and the file name. Now test.txt has executable permissions. So now if I want to remove the read permissions, I can use chmod minus r and the file name, which is test.txt. So as you can see here, now the read access has been removed. Now let's remove the write access minus w and the file name. So the write access has been removed. Now if you want to add, you can simply use plus and the file name. This is one way of using chmod to change the permissions of a file. So now let's write a program to append some text to the end of the file. First, it asks the user to enter the name of the file. Then it takes the name of the file to the variable file. Then it checks if that file exists. If it doesn't exist, then print file not found. But if it exists, then it'll go and check if the file has the right permissions. If it has the right permissions, then as we are using the cat command to append the text to the file, so once you type your text, you have to press Ctrl plus T. If the file is not writable, then print the file has no write permission. So now let's run the script. I forgot a space over here. Now let's hit Ctrl+D. Now let's check the permissions of the file. So as you can see here, there is no read permission. That is why we weren't able to read. Now let's give it the read permission, chmod +R. Now let's read the contents of the file. So as you can see, the content has been appended to the file. Similarly, you can check if it has read permissions or if it has execute permissions. Okay, say now let's check for executable permissions. Now let's enter the name of our script itself. Now let's hit Ctrl+D. So as you can see, the text has been appended here. So thank you for watching my video. Stay tuned for more.